SG has to prove that his micro is good enough, his unit control is good enough in order to dodge those EMPs and get in a couple of storms. At the moment we see 4 High Templars. He's going for an Observer as well, and a Warp Prism, which is a really smart idea in order to dodge the EMPs. That's actually a really good move, and the armor upgrade is nearly done. We see another couple of goats being built for the Terran player as well as additional Marines, and he's going for another, he's going to fly his orbital command to the mineral line to the left of his expansion in order to get some more in order to get a higher income. We see a Marines and one Marauder for Rainbow just trying to get through the debris right here and attack the expansion of Prince SG. 2 pylons of Prince SG actually give him a little bit of vision, so he's able to see that beforehand, warping in additional Templars, and the storm hits the whole bio army, doing a pretty good job. Has to get in another storm in order to kill him off. The Zealots charges in. Oh man, he was really suicidal going in for the kill against this army, and right now Archon is being warped in as well, but yeah, well, Rainbow is already retreating. He kicked both pylons but lost a couple of Marines while doing so. And here we see the Warp Prism, and that's actually a really smart move by Prince SG, because he's just loading all the High Templar into the Warp Prism. If EMP hits the Warp Prism will lose its shields, but the Templars inside won't lose the energy. So that's really smart, and with good micro he can just drop a couple of High Templar every now and then storm. Here we see the first storm as well as the first EMP. Another EMP hits the Protoss army, and that's not too bad. So Rainbow is doing a good job stimming right now. Here comes the Warp Prism and the drop where the storms. One storm is hitting the Terran army, doing a pretty good job evading the storm, but the second one is well, and whoa, look at that! He's just losing so many units. This guy is crazy, still building Marines and basically nothing else, just a couple of ghosts against a Protoss player who's playing with Archons and High Templars. This is insane. Marines are just so good. 83 supply right now for the Protoss player and 81 for the Terran, chasing down the Archon. The Archon is dying right now, and there are a couple of more Archons for the Protoss player, but he's under pressure right now, and another stim. The other Terran player is probably able to finish the Nexus off, but he's focusing their army right now. Should have killed the Nexus instead, and is losing all his Marines. Oh my god, this could be GG, because Prince SG has the expansion under control right now, and his income is basically skyrocketing after that. So Prince SG is back to business after he really lost tons of harvesting units in the mid game and was down on 25 supply versus 50. We see the Warp Prism being used for the warping of another couple of High Templars, and once again he loaded all his High Templars into the Warp Prism, having 4 Archons working as basically some kind of meat shield. And small glance at the income tab, we see that actually Prince SG is on a better has a better income than his opponent. And once again, I mean, just look at that. There's so many Marines. He's once again stimming in, and now he's heading for the Nexus, but has to retreat once again. The Archon's doing a really good job against the Marines. The storm is hitting the Archons as well, and Prince SG is working with his Warp Prism. And that's such a smart move. That's really nice. And the Terran players, if there are any Terran players amongst you, you should probably just try to copy that, because that is actually brilliant. The Protoss player is looking for the Terran army right now. He didn't detect those Marines back there, and they are once again heading towards the expansion of Prince SG, towards natural of the Protoss player. And we see a forge being built for Prince SG right now, so even royalty has to rely on some upgrades. Right now the second pylon is going down, and here come another couple of High Templars in order to storm. But the Marines are moving in with a stim, trying to kill more High Templars. One storm at least hits a couple of the Marines, but right now all the Zealots are charging in, trying to kill those Marines. And he has moved all units of his army to defend against those Marines. That might be a mistake, because now the Nexus is defenseless, and he can't afford to lose this Nexus, because then his income will basically go down to 0. And here another couple of Marines are killed by the army of the Protoss player, and here are the Marines just stimming in and finishing off the Nexus, and that would be a devastating blow against the economy of the Protoss player. We see right now that his income is dropping, and yeah, well, Princess G has a probe over there, so he can't try to warp in a pylon, but right now his income is really low compared to the income of the Terran player. He's trying to build his Nexus once again, but right now his supply is down to 125. He's actually supply blocked, 95 for the Terran player. He has a lot of resources at the moment, 1,500 minerals and 800 gas. But the Terran player is once again building Marines and more Marines, 12 at the moment. And another storm hits the Terran army. There are no medivacs whatsoever, and the Protoss player could really use a couple of Colossi right now. Colossus would be the way to go, but of course Archons are doing so much damage against Marines as well as the High Templars. And right now, oh, this is actually pretty bad for Prince SG. Rainbow is focusing all those Archons one by one, killing them off, and his supply is basically breaking down. He has 90 supply right now, 85 for the Terran player, and he's doing a really good job considering that he's only playing with Marines. It's actually amazing. It's just insane. And he's building more Marines throughout the whole game. On the lost station, we see that he lost 412 units so far. But regarding the resources, they basically lost the same amount of resources. So that is just wicked. This game is basically insane. And as I said already early on, it blew my mind when I realized that Rainbow had a chance to win this game. He's moving in once again, trying to kill off those High Templars with only a couple of Marines. And in the meantime, we see another Warp Prism for the Protoss player, of course trying to dodge those storms. But here we see a couple of snipes going. The Terran player is getting off a couple of snipes in order to kill those High Templars, but the ghosts get killed. And we see another forge for Prince SG, trying to get the armor upgrade for his units. And here once again the unit control of Rainbow is pretty amazing, just spreading his Marines down, but the storms are hitting everything. There are so many storms right now, and he's losing Marines everywhere, going down to 67, 66 supply versus 73, and now the Protoss player once again is out of energy for his storms, and he has really trouble warping new units in. And here come a couple of zealots as well as some High Templar, but he's out of minerals right now. The storms hit the Marines, but once again Rainbow proves that his micro is really amazing, that he's a top-notch player, and he's attacking everything the Protoss player is able to throw against him. And more reinforcements are joining the Marines at the expansion, at the gold expansion of the Protoss player. There's a ghost as well. He has enough energy for another EMP if need be, and he EMPs the High Templar while they are being warped in. And now actually there's an advantage for Rainbow supply-wise. He's on 66 supply versus 45. Princess G using his probes as well in order to defend his gold expansion, and now he writes GG and has to quit the game. And this is just such an intense game. It really blew my mind. I mean, how can you win a game versus Archons and versus High Templar with a storm, only using Marines and a couple of ghosts? This is just wicked, and I really missed Colossus on for the Protoss player. I think they would have helped him a lot, especially after Charge was being researched for the Zealots, so they could get some distance between the Colossus and the Marines. Of course, he would have needed extended thermal lance, but still, this game is just so intense. It was a brilliant game, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Princess G put up a really good fight, but in the end he had to yield to Rainbow's Marines. And I really liked that replay because, as I already told you during the commentation, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, well, there's a lot of action going on. It's actually a nice replay, but still, he can't win. He's just producing Marines, nothing else. And the Protoss player, he has Archons, he has Storm. He's lacking the Colossus, but still. So I actually thought it's pretty one-sided and boring. And in the middle of the game, I was like, well, what the fuck? He can actually win that. I was really amazed by it, so I hope you liked the replay, and I also hope that you liked the commentary. I would really like some honest feedback, and if you actually want me to record a couple of more VODs in English, I will happily do so, and I'll promise you that I will try to improve. But yeah, I think that's it for my first VOD in English. So yeah, please leave me some feedback on YouTube or on Team Liquid, wherever. I'll definitely read it, and yeah, we'll probably see each other soon. Have a good day.